Howdy, 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 my beautiful Scorpio. How are you doing today, darling? My name is SimplyVelca, and today we're going to be getting into your weekly tarot reading for November, darling Scorpio. All right, so if you do enjoy this tarot reading, check out your sun, moon, and your rising to get the better understanding of what's happening in your life. And let me know in the comments below, Scorpio, how my tarot readings resonate with you. All right, that's how I keep up with you guys. Even if you are just a silent watcher, I would love to hear how these readings resonate with you. And if you do want to support me, Scorpio, a completely free way to do it that I prefer is just give this video a like and subscribe. It does help me out quite a bit, and I always appreciate those who take the extra step to support me in that way. Other than that, Scorpio, let's just jump right into your tarot reading here. I like where the energy is going overall. I feel like there's an important message I need to get across to you, but we'll get into that later on here. Like in your first row, Scorpio, we have the Six of Cups and Three of Swords inverted for you in the reverse, and then with the Four of Cups coming in here, Scorpio. Now, I'm going to be very honest here, all right, darling? I don't feel like I need to tell you this, Scorpio, but for someone that might need to hear this here, is like, don't give something a second chance. It's like you have seen a million red flags with this situation here, Scorpio, and it's like time for you to move on, all right? I'm not going to be that tarot reader that tells you where it's just like, oh, this soulmate, they love you, even though they haven't talked to you in months, they love you, they think about you, they just don't know how to express their emotions. That's just not me, darling, all right? If you want to have, there's plenty of tarot readers that are like that. I'm not going to be one of them here. I feel so passionately in that I think it's important for you to realize this, Scorpio, because you are blocking blessings by being so obsessed with having one specific scenario pan out in one specific way here. So for example here, Scorpio, you could want this dream, like life dream future for yourself where it's like you have your best friend by your side, all your family members, da 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 da. But the reality is, like, your best friend is someone that isn't really all that supportive of you. You know, I don't like using that analogy here, but it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like we have these ideals that we want, but the reality is that sense of where it's just like, don't give something a second chance just because in your picture perfect world, these people would not be the way that they are. The situation wouldn't be the way that it is, you know. In a perfect world, darling, I would love to be a waiter that pays six figures so I could just talk to people all day and not have to rely on tips or anything like that, but that's just not the reality of it. That's the best way I could use that analogy, Scorpio. And I feel so passionate in that I think it's time for you to move on from some type of ideal because of this Four of Cups. Spirit's trying to hand to you a new opportunity, a new cup towards you, but you're not seeing it because of those three cups right there, Scorpio. So it's like you're missing out on blessings, you're missing out on life due to wanting things to be in a specific type of way. This is a time for you to be more flexible, Scorpio. I feel like you have a lot of potential, a lot of untapped energy available to you, but it's time for you to shift directions. Clarifying this row, we have the King of Swords coming in here. All right. You have the Devil card coming in as well. And then we have the Nine of Cups stepping forward. So the brutal, honest truth here, Scorpio, I know you can handle this, and I feel like it's really important that you do, because I really feel like a lot opens up for you afterwards, is that you need to not be afraid of calling a devil, calling a spade, whether this is coming in the shape of a person or whether this is in the shape of a habit, an addiction, Scorpio. Whatever the case is, it's time for you to move on. It's like you're clinging onto this blockage here, and because of that, you're not able to see anything else that's going to be available to you or trying to be available to you, Scorpio. Does that make sense? And so the sooner you move on from that one situation, the more open life opens up for you with that Nine of Cups, which is, you know, by definition, this card talks about wishes being granted and so what have you here. All right, Scorpio, but it does require you to have the mental mastery. It does require for you to, King of Swords, just call a spade, darling. All right, as much as it might hurt or suck to go through that. Getting into your second row, Scorpio, we have here some really fabulous cards. The Hierophant, King of Wands, and the Fool energy. What you have coming towards you, Scorpio, are situations, are experiences of things that are really going to tap into a new level for yourself. So let me use an analogy here, Scorpio. Let's just say, for example, that you always have wanted to like have a business, but you never really knew what the proper steps would be to create that business there. Hierophant energy comes in the shape of uh, having opportunities, connecting to people that can give you the education, that can give you the knowledge to be able to go after those big dreams, those big aspirations that you have for yourself. King of Wands here, all right? And this type of dynamic here, Scorpio, I get like this sense of where the way for you to get to the next chapter of your book, full energy, is through exploring, is through like not there's a couple messages here, Scorpio. I feel like there's like one, the sense of not being afraid of just going in, diving in, right? It's like you want to be a YouTuber. The best way to learn about how to do YouTube is by making YouTube videos. You want to learn how to run a business. The best way to do that is just getting started. But I also feel like for you, Scorpio, it's important for you to shine this King of Wands energy, because that's what's going to grab attention towards that Hierophant energy, opportunities that could help teach you. So I'm talking about mentorships. I'm talking about friendships that could lead to collaborations, so on and so forth. Scorpio, do you see where I'm trying to go with that, darling? So really take heed to that. Let's start clarifying these rows here. Do one more bridge shuffle here, Scorpio. And we're also going to be doing an oracle card for you afterwards, an oracle reading, so stay tuned for that. So Scorpio, clarifying these rows here, we have the Death card in the reverse, the Knight of Swords, and then the Five of Cups coming in here. So this is what's necessary for you, darling. All right, it's time for you to move on. It's time for you to stop turning over rocks that you've already turned over here. All right, I feel like when you're in a good mental health state, you progress quite quickly. And I also feel like there's this message from Spirit saying, just like, hey, once you shift your perspective here, Scorpio, that cup right here, once you shift your perspective, so much opens up for you. But it does require for you to let go of something that you've been really resistant on letting go of. All right, Scorpio. And so if you have been wondering why you've been feeling like you've been in a stalemate, or maybe you've just been craving some excitement in some facet of your life there, ask yourself, what is it that you've been clinging on to? Is it some ideal? Is it a person? Is it an environment? You know, what is it that you've been clinging on to that you need to let go of to shift things, to then see what everything, like, it's like you're blind to the surprise party Spirit has for you because you don't want to check behind what's behind door number one. All right. Now in your third row, Scorpio, this is what you need to be looking out for here. You have the Nine and High Priest, the Nine of Cups and the High Priestess in the reverse with the Four of Wands. So what you need to be looking out for, Scorpio, is getting in your head too much, darling. Getting in your head and telling yourself that it's like, I don't know if you started compromising what your future should be. I was just talking about, Scorpio, how it's like, I feel like it's important for you to let go of the idea that certain people are going to match your perfect future, or like perfect situation of like being a waiter and making six figures or what have you. Even though I feel like that could actually be realistic, could be hard but realistic. In this sense here, Scorpio, it's like, you don't have to compromise your future. You don't have to compromise the idea of making six figures, for example. You may not be in the coming as the title of like a waiter. It might be something adjacent to that, but your dream is still valid. And so that's the thing that's like really calling out to me in this year, Scorpio, is where it's just that you start gassing yourself out, psyching yourself out, and saying it's just like, oh, is my future not really destined to be successful, or to, X, Y, and Z? No, you're destined for certain things. You're destined for greatness, Scorpio. But that greatness might not look like having a well-connected family, blood family. That greatness might look like creating your own family, and stuff like that. And so I hope my point gets across here. We'll clarify this with a few cards before we move on to your oracle spread, Scorpio. Two of Cups coming in, Wheel of Fortune, Two of Wands coming in here. Yeah. The reality is here, Scorpios, is like, don't cling on to the idea of having your future be with specific types of people. All right. Because while, yes, you would want to have that thriving relationship with your family while you're at the top, or whatever your story is, Scorpio, I can guarantee you, somewhere along the lines in your future, as you progress in your path, you'll run into people that feel even that you'll have a stronger connection to than any family member that you wish you had a connection with. Does that make sense, Scorpio? So that's what I feel for you. for your tarot cards this week. Let's give you your oracle card today, Scorpio, and I'll send you off on your way, darling. All right. This has been such a joy in doing this reading for you. Number 66, I will say in this case here, Scorpio, I will say write down the number 6 in numerology, because I've been seeing a lot of sixes in your reading in general. So the number 6 in numerology has a message for you. Look that up at a later point in time to see what it is. The white raven spirit. Trust in the magic, right? Trust in the magic. So it's, you know how people say, Scorpio, is like, be careful what it is that you wish for, because you might say that you wish to be rich, but you don't go into detail about how you want to be rich or X, Y, and Z here. You know, not to go into the specific analogy of that, but it's like having trust that the magic will get you to what it is that you want, even if it's not what you initially think that it is that you want, right? What is it I'm trying to say? It's like if you put out a manifestation ritual for happiness, you'll get that happiness, but the happiness might not come packaged in the gift wrap and bow of what you thought that happiness would make you look like. All right, so that's the tarot reading that I have for you today, Scorpio. Hopefully something in here resonated, and I'll connect to you sometime in the near future. Bye, darling Scorpio.